Hello, dear friends. Jonathan Rosenblatt back with you for another little installment in our series on preparing for great parenting. As we always remind you, the month of August finds us preparing for the school year and hoping that our children will have excellent teachers. And we hope they will. It's very important to remember that the most important teachers that your children will ever have, well, that's ourselves. And we'd like to help you be even better in that role. Pirkei Avos teaches us, Ezehu Gibor HaKovesh Yitzro, who is truly mighty, one who has power over his own impulses. There's new research in the whole field of willpower, which suggests that this most important human skill, the ability to control oneself, the ability to delay gratification, the ability to stay with a task despite frustrations along the way. Well, these are skills which actively can be developed, like muscles. One of the greatest gifts we can give children is the ability to control themselves. And that can be something as simple as learning to wait for gratification, learning to save for another time. We are so loving, maybe a little too loving, so loving that we want our children to have every pleasure in the world, and we want them to have it now, because we are so ardent in the desire to have the pleasure of giving them the pleasure. Sometimes this loving gesture actually creates children who are substantially weakened. We deprive them of the experience of the gestation of desire, allowing our desire for something to build in us so that when we finally achieve our goal, it's something that we really can savor, that we really can appreciate. When I was a youngster, about 7 years old, my father and I shared a great love of animals. And a book was scheduled to be published called The Mammals of the World by the great Ernest P. Walker, first edition, Smithsonian Press. I wanted it more than air itself. And my father proposed the following agreement. I got 25 cents a week allowance. And my father kept the record of what he owed me in an old exam book. You remember the ones with the blue covers? He told me that when I had $6 to contribute toward the Mammals of the World, he would cover the rest. Now, this book came out at $30-some, which in those prehistoric days was an astronomical amount of money. Multiply in our dollars of those days something like a factor of 10. And I waited, and I waited, and I did not draw on my allowance, and I did not use it for ice cream or treats. All I saw was that extraordinary book. And I can still remember the day that my father brought that book home from the Johns Hopkins University bookstore. And it was at last mine. It was mine because I had waited so long for it, and because my dad, Zichrono Livracha, and I had bought it together. Well, if you come to visit my house, you can still see the first edition of Ernest P. Walker's Mammals of the World, with pages that I have turned 1,000 times in the now close to 50 years since I purchased it. You can also see editions 5 and 7, which I purchased as an adult subsequently. But there are very few books in my library that mean as much to me as that book, because that was born after the gestation of desire. Do you know that there are studies which show that when children are offered a sweet and told that if they can wait 10 minutes before eating it, they will receive 2. The children who are capable of waiting, of investing of allowing desire to be on hold have a better prognosis later in life for performance in school, for professional achievement, and even for successful relationships. One of the best things we can tell our children, not just no, but how about not yet? How about soon? How about if you wait, you'll get more? And allow them to cultivate the power which will make them true giborim, and even more, to allow them to cultivate experiences of pleasure which will remain vivid and sweet for them because they have come to a full ripeness and maturity as they learn to wait for them. It's a gift. Hashem should bless your parenting and allow you to raise strong, healthy, happy, God-fearing children. Take care.